I'm here to talk a little bit about the value of enterprise data standards. So I'm going to add the word enterprise to it as it relates to the MS4 compliance and reporting. I spent 15 years in Silicon Valley, most of my career helping industries understand how to adopt the cloud. So I would say that there's a digital transformation happening kind of at all scales of government right now. And what we are seeing is, the cloud adoption has really been accelerated, obviously, by the COVID tragedy, but it also represents a wonderful opportunity. The cloud does to put standards in place and adopt technological best practices as government goes through this transition. It reminds me a lot of the transition that the healthcare industry went through not that long ago. When we went to the doctor, we found, the doctor had to kind of get our records, right? It was a fax, it was an email or something like that. Of course, today, that's no longer the case. You go to your doctor's office and they have easy access to your records online. A little bit about Second Nature to help you understand where we're coming from and how we are developing a perspective on the industry. We build an open cloud platform. It's integrated with Esri's GIS technology, and it's for running stormwater programs and measuring program effectiveness and compliance reporting. Second Nature is an early stage technology company. We were founded in 2016. We're just over the hill from Silicon Valley in Santa Cruz, California. We now have customers in 12 states, so we're growing very rapidly. We have over 100,000 structural assets that are being managed for various stormwater programs within our system with a very high value of those assets. So we have a lot of data, a lot of information that really form the best practices that are shaping how we're thinking about data standards and how those enable e-reporting. Real quickly, I think the secret of our success is not just the cloud and GIS, but it's also that our methodologies and our models are based on science. Our founder and CEO, Nicole Beck, is a PhD in aquatic chemistry, and she really got her start working up in the Lake Tahoe Basin and the Keep Tahoe Blue project, trying to develop methods and models to understand water quality benefits for BMPs over time. We do hold ourselves to a very high standard from a science standpoint. We peer review and publish our science in scientific journals. In addition, of course, we believe in partnering. We know that it takes a lot of people to successfully run a program. Digital transformation, embracing cloud technologies is not about replacing people. It's not about replacing partners. In fact, we rely and it relies very heavily on partners. Data standards, of course, have many benefits, but at the core of the issue is the intent of the MS4 permit, which is to measure the effectiveness of the program at reducing pollution and runoff. To accomplish that, we need to be able to trust our data. We would say we need to have certainty in our data, and that certainty is based on methods that are statistically accurate and easily verifiable. Those are the foundation for trust. If we back up for a minute, and I'm going to try and go quickly here to meet Seth's deadline. If we unpack this need, it of course is driven by the regulation as represented in the permit, but what we've learned at Second Nature is that it's truly an enterprise requirement for data standards. So let's talk about that for a minute. And what is an enterprise data requirement? Well, the MS4 business need touches multiple types of systems: information systems, operational support systems, business support systems, and therefore relies on data and workflows across all of those. So it's a very comprehensive data requirement that is more than just data about specific BMPs or specific assets. From a compliance perspective, of course, that data needs to be easily reported and verified. From a business system, there's a requirement to measure, right? We can't improve what we cannot measure. From an operational perspective, we need to use that data to do our work. We need to manage our work. We have time frame requirements around things. And from an asset perspective, of course, it's about location, condition, and informing the other minimum control requirements of the permit. Stormwater programs, of course, have grown up over decades, relying on information systems and workflows primarily from other municipal departments. It is difficult, it's expensive and inefficient to run a distributed program and distributed assets without a centralized system. And we all know, therefore, that there is a lot of complexity, there's a lot of cost, and frankly, sometimes there's just a lot of difficulty in being able to demonstrate effectiveness of programs. So we need to establish priorities, establish metrics to be able to do that. Data standards help break down those barriers and information silos. By moving to the cloud, starting in the bottom left-hand corner, we start to centralize programmatic and asset-related information in a way that's easily accessible. That enables us to start looking at workflows and work management, shifting over to the right a little bit, thinking about where are the opportunities to take out manual processes and automate and make things more scalable and easier to operate. Those things, of course, then present a foundation for really driving alignment for programs and ultimately plugging into other data systems at the state regulator level or even at the e-reporting level. So the picture is one of an enterprise vertical industry requirement: information, operations, business requirements with high stakes. There's regulatory compliance that's best serviced by aligning technology choices with a long-term architectural vision. By defining the requirement accurately and embracing best-in-class technology and standards, you start to enable your program to shift from a complex cost center, relying on data services from other municipal departments, to a digital service delivery model, one that allows you to communicate program effectiveness and to quickly and easily demonstrate and report compliance. The inverse of trust, of course, to a degree, is risk. We can see how data is generated using and used at each layer of your program systems. The nature of data, of course, is that it's not static. Therefore, there's inherent risk in doing nothing. As your program's generating more data, as you're using it to inform your program at every level, without a data standard, risk is actually growing, right? Data risk is either increasing or decreasing. And what we found is for many programs who haven't embraced the set of technology standards yet, that risk is increasing on a daily basis. And so if you get your data off the shelf, what you want to invest in is into producing the capability to transition from a static to a dynamic data environment. Of course, it's evolving. It's a target. It's not a final destination. I think Dave did a wonderful job describing how we all collaborate, how you all are a part of that collaboration. And as your business needs change, as your permit and your workflows evolve, the standard's going to evolve with it. The commercial pathway provides a scalable framework for iteration and ultimately really is the shortest path to high confidence in demonstrating your program effectiveness and being ready for the e-reporting rule. And then lastly, as we increase transparency and access to data and information, we really start enabling our industry to focus on the outcome, which is how our stormwater programs creating more cleaner and healthier communities.